General Olson, if in fact Mayor Giuliani becomes President Giuliani, and Iran's about to get the nuke that we feared that it would, and he calls you up, and you're in private life or in public office, he says, Ted, what do I do? What would you tell him about what to do vis-a-vis Congress?
Well, obviously, if you are a lawyer and you have plenty of time to think about all of the different alternatives, and I think any president taking office would want to get his legal team familiar. That would be his White House counsel, the Attorney General, the Assistant Attorney General, the lawyers in the Defense Department and the State Department, and get together and go over these various options. So there is one sense in which you would want to do planning with respect to things like this and look at the legal implications of all of the alternatives. It's always better to have congressional support for whatever the president might decide to do. On the other hand, the president, when the Constitution was enacted, the Constitution created a single executive as opposed to a collective executive consisting of 2 or 3 or more persons, because the framers of the Constitution wanted to have energy in the executive. They wanted the president to be able to act swiftly and efficiently to protect the nation when it was necessary. So if the president was facing an immediate danger to the citizens of the United States, the president might not have time to consult with members of Congress. It all depends upon the circumstances, but ultimately, we elect a president to be able to protect this nation in times of emergencies, and the president has to do that sometimes.
And take people inside these discussions. How do they actually unfold? Because you've been doing this in the executive branch through, 3 administrations, really, for unofficial roles with the first Bush. But how does it actually happen when conflict and war and bombs have to be dropped, whether it's in Libya or Grenada or Panama or Iraq? How does the White House actually function at a time like that?
Well, I can say probably most with a greater sense of precision what we were doing during the Reagan administration. We had a standing group which consisted of the White House counsel, the Assistant Attorney General for the Office of Legal Counsel, someone from the Defense Department, someone from the National Security Council, someone from the State Department, and we would meet regularly to try to anticipate and to provide the president and the executive branch with the best possible legal advice we could give. Sometimes it was well before the events unfolded if we knew what was coming or if we knew that we ought to plan for them. Sometimes it was after something might have happened and we wanted to give the president the best legal advice afterwards. Now, it all depends upon the circumstances. This whole issue of consulting with lawyers reminded me of a situation that I remember reading about with respect to things that were happening during the Clinton administration. They might have a terrorist, say it's in Afghanistan or Pakistan or someplace, they might locate bin Laden or something like that and have just a few minutes to act if they're going to send a missile down to blow him up. That is not an occasion when you have to start calling lawyers all over the United States or wherever they might be to convene to express a legal opinion. You need to be ready to act and without having to go getting legal opinions.
When Mayor Giuliani says yesterday, it really depends on the exigency of the circumstances and how legitimate it is, that is, whether it's really an exigent circumstance, it's desirable. He's talking about having previously consulted with legal authorities, gotten a good paradigm on which to work, and then applying the paradigm to the facts at hand.
Well, of course, that's true,